In races all over Virginia this election season, one of the central issues is gun legislation. The Commonwealth ranks among the most gun-friendly states on the East Coast, and Democratic Governor Terry McAuliffe has made it a priority to change that, without much luck in the Republican-controlled General Assembly. Northern Virginia is home to both the National Rifle Association and an increasingly diverse population. But in this part of the state, traditional gun culture is colliding with a more liberal social mix. Karen Turner introduces us to several gun enthusiasts who buck the usual stereotypes.
How'd you do?
Pretty well, actually. Got all of them on the paper, and most of them within about a 4-inch radius.
Adith Subramanian is shooting at the NRA range in Fairfax, Virginia.
So I would describe myself as probably the last person you'd expect to own guns. I'm a very liberal-minded person. I'm a vegan.
Looking around at the range, we're surrounded by the typical gun owner. White, male, middle-aged. White men make up 2/3 of all gun owners in the U.S., but account for just 1/3 of the total population. Subramanian does not fit this profile.
My parents were both born in India. In India, gun ownership, it's not looked upon as a good thing. So I actually grew up in a very anti-gun house.
Subramanian picked up guns in college, initially for sporting reasons. He bought his first gun when he was 19.
My experiences as a minority gun owner initially started pretty nervous. I was very intimidated initially because I had the stereotypes in my head that guns were a, white male Republican thing to have.
Owning a gun also made him feel out of place among his more liberal friends.
I do not mention guns around them at all. I have before once or twice, and it's usually ended with me being looked down upon for owning guns.
He says he now feels accepted by the gun community, but I asked if he ever feels conflicted.
A lot of gun owners hunt or have hunted or want to go on hunting trips, and I'm a vegan. I'm as far away from hunting as you could possibly get. It's never been an issue where I've had to stop and think like, is this wrong or is this okay or does this conflict or am I being a hypocrite? They're just very separate parts of my life.
Subramanian says he came about his passion for guns in the same way he came about his veganism. He believes these personal choices are better for society.
A gun is the ultimate equalizer. So minorities, LGBTQ, and women and all those fringe communities you're talking about can really benefit from firearms because they're communities where when they are attacked, no one's going in there with a fair fight.
That's one reason for owning a gun for John Mayer, a restaurant owner in Richmond, Virginia. I met up with him at Chefs for Equality, an event hosted by the Human Rights Campaign, benefiting the LGBT community.
I originally bought it just for target shooting and the sport of guns and weapons. As a gay individual, it's always going to be, I think, helpful to have just in case things happen in this world.
Mayer says he generally feels very safe, but he can point to an incident that caused him to start carrying his firearm.
My now fiance and I were outside of a restaurant bar. Some people drove by. We were saying goodbye, we were holding hands or something, and they had just yelled fag outside at the window. And for some reason, that just ignited something inside of me. And knowing that I had the ability to respond to them and also have something there, because it was multiple people, and having something that I know could back up who I am and what I say was a nice feeling to have.
Mayer says he's a proud gun owner with good friends in the gun community, but he also says he tends to keep quiet about his politics at the range. He describes himself as a near-socialist Democrat.
In my position, I just tend to stay quiet and shoot my gun and practice what I need to do and leave.
In Falls Church, Josh Karish has built a business catering to these non-traditional gun owners. I visited his gun shop, The Gun Dude, where Karish was hosting a free Friday night spaghetti dinner. It doesn't seem like your typical gun shop, with paintings by local artists hanging on the walls, couches, free coffee. The crowd is very diverse, all ages, all races.
We try and cater to folks that don't feel comfortable walking through the classic firearm store. So it really does allow for all depths and breadths to come through.
At the spaghetti dinner, I met people who refused to be interviewed due to their left-leaning career fields. An attendee named Gabe, who didn't want his last name used, says he likes seeing this inclusive crowd.
A lot of people think that gun owners just kind of stay in their house, lock their doors, kind of close people. Gun owners aren't really like that. A lot of gun owners in the Northern Virginia area are kind of open people out in the public. You don't really see them until you get to an environment like this.
And this type of environment may be unique to Virginia. For Adit Subramanian, it feels like home.
It's hard to find a place that I can live where I can go to a vegan restaurant and then go shooting in the same day.
I'm Karen Turner.